Bienvenidos a todos, espero que estén muy bien, estoy muy contenta el día de hoy, ya cerrando el año, ya tenemos pocas entrevistas que quedan de aquí a fin de año, ya para dejarlos en sus vacaciones, que ya puedan estar tranquilos y disfrutar con sus familias las fiestas. Así que bueno, pues ya nos estamos preparando para este final y también para la próxima semana. Les tengo preparada una entrevista increíble. Gracias a todos por estar aquí. Por favor, no dejen de suscribirse a mi canal si no lo han hecho. Y también síganme en mis redes sociales. En este momento tengo un giveaway de uno de mis patrocinadores que no se pueden perder. MK Blade se está regalando unas cuchillas para un suertudo Masha Lover. Así que no dejen de ir a mi Instagram y ver de qué se trata. Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I'm very happy for this interview. This is one of the last interviews of the year. I will have only one interview left next week, and it's pretty amazing. I will be announcing it in a couple of hours, maybe. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and follow me on my social media. Right now, I have an amazing giveaway from one of my sponsors. MK Blades is giving a pair of traditional blades for a lucky winner. So go to my Instagram and see what this is about and enter the contest because it's pretty amazing. Remember that if you want me to read at the end of the interview a comment or question, please use the super chat and I will read it and post it on screen. So I want to introduce our guest for today. I'm very excited about this interview. I want to introduce to you all Dylan Moskovitch. How are you, Dylan?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited. I mean, I have been wanting this interview for a long time, and finally we are here.
Yeah, we made it happen despite all the weird things going on in the world. I guess the blessing of technology helped us out.
I know it's been crazy. For you, how is the pandemic going? The lockdown, everything in Canada.
It's interesting, taking it step by step and day by day, and just trying to find joy and gratitude and the extra time that I have that I'm not used to having, and using it to think deeper on things that I don't usually give myself the time to, and do more yoga, do more meditation, write more, just trying to stay positive despite the negative things that are happening around the world.
Yeah, let's take it day by day because it's been crazy and we have no idea this is going to end. So let's see.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to ask, in Canada, the main sport is hockey. So why on earth did you choose figure skating over hockey?
Well, it wasn't for the money. As anyone in figure skating knows. I think when I was a young boy, I played hockey. I played a competitive level till I was about 12 or 13. I think I always just knew I was a figure skater. I identified as a figure skater right from maybe 5 years old. I wanted to, go win the Olympics. And looking back, I think it was the part of me that's an artist and a performer, really loved the fact that I could be an acrobatic athlete and push my body and work on very, very difficult technical skills. But at the same time, there was music and there was choreography and there was freedom and there was flying around the ice, not with a cage in front of your face and people trying to knock you over, So it's, I think just from a young age, it felt right to me.
So you were playing hockey and figure skating at the same time in your first years?
Yeah, and baseball and soccer and music lessons. Very busy kid.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of work. Your mom kept you busy.
Yeah, and I'm the oldest of four. We were all busy too, so it was pretty crazy.
Well, that's good. That's good. It's better to do sports than being home watching TV, so that's good.
Yeah, exactly.
So your first partner was your sister until she retired, right?
Yes, Kira, yes. We skated together for 6 years. She's 9 years younger than me, and I'm the oldest and she's the youngest of the four kids. And So it was an interesting experience. You know, we started skating together when she was 9 and I was 18, kind of as a joke. We did some stroking around the ice together. We skated with a lot of pairs, and we thought it'd be funny to do some stroking together for our coaches, and they said, that looks good, do it again. And then 6 months later, we were at nationals.
Wow.
So it kind of just happened. Partnership. But Kira grew to be quite tall, and she develops scoliosis, which, you know, curvature of the spine, and her time in skating kind of came to an end, and then my career went in a different direction.
Wow. Was that fun, or did you fight a lot?
Both. Both. As you can imagine, a preteen and a young teen girl with you know, an older brother who's in his early 20s being the partner. We lived away from home, so I was the parent too, and I had to make sure she did her homework, and then we'd have to go train. And it was a very interesting dynamic, a very interesting relationship. I think it's a unique relationship. Not many people kind of have that understanding of each other the way we did growing up. It was nice though. I look back on it with, you know, fond memories.
Yes, of course. And after that, of course, you changed partners, you started working a lot, and you start giving amazing results back in 2011, and then you won a silver medal in the four continents. So, I mean, you got so many great results, many great medals in the Grand Prix Series competitions. So, all these achievements, what do they mean to you?
You know, it's funny. It's funny watching this.
Ages ago.
It feels like a different lifetime. You know, I think what it means to me now, it feels like a past life, one that I'm very grateful for, but also one I feel in a lot of ways very far away from now. I feel very grateful for lessons it gave me in terms of having a goal, putting the work in, not letting speed bumps, you know, get in the way and stop you and ruin your enthusiasm and your optimism. But I also have learned a lot from, you know, these times, the way I would hold my results as a lot of my self-worth hinged on my success, and the way I defined myself hinged on placements in some ways. I think I had, for the most part, a fairly positive mindset as an athlete, but you know, life after sport is very different, and you realize that as an athlete, you're not living a normal life.
Yes, absolutely.
And when you look back, you realize just how small your view is of things, and how important those very few things are to you. And when you step away from it, you realize how small you are and how big life is and how big the world is, and how you start to fit into, you know, society and to the world in a very different way. And it's a transition, a very difficult transition at times, but I feel like I'm getting to know myself a bit differently every single day.
Yeah.
And so looking back on this, it's almost like, oh wow, that's me. I did that. You know, I don't even look the same. My days are very different. My life is very different, and the things I do with my time and the way I prioritize is very different. But you know, I think it's beautiful to grow up with a passion and a goal, and to be able to have, you know, the fortune of having, you know, the physical capability, the parents I have that helped me through it and supported me through it, and people around me that helped me, you know, achieve those things. I feel I recognize that so much of it is luck, so much of it is timing and circumstance, and the rest is hard work and dedication. And I think I'm very grateful that I had all those things kind of come together to give me those experiences.
Yeah, it's like the greatness of being an athlete and achieving your goals. I mean, that's something else.
It is. It is. The thing for me that's so interesting is I used to think it was everything, and now it's just something. You know, it's like one brick in the house. It's not the whole house.
Yeah, I get it, of course. And of course, all those achievements, all those medals in the Grand Prix series and the Four Continents medal and all that, the national championships in Canada, all that led for to you qualifying for the Sochi Olympics. So that's huge. That's a big thing. So when you realized that you qualified for those Olympics, how did you feel? I mean, that's like the ultimate goal of any athlete.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's hard to put into words.
I know.
You know, it's I decided when I was 5 that I wanted to win the Olympics, and I went to Sochi at 29. So, which is, you know, not young for a first Olympics. It's it was a lot of time for me to grow, and in some ways I'm very grateful that I went later in my life because I really understood how much it meant, and I think I had learned and earned the experience of knowing how to maximize the experience and knowing how to really soak it all in, as opposed to just being, I'm at the Olympics, oh my God, I need to freak out because everyone's freaking out. It was kind of like, you know, people say before a near-death experience, their life flashes before their eyes. And being there, I had moments where my career flashed before my eyes, or the year of training, the 4 years of training leading up flashed before my eyes. And I felt like in super fast motion, I felt, you know, the pain of training, the sacrifice, the struggles. I saw everyone around me, and it just like, oh wow, I'm here.
Wow.
You know, yeah, like I'm actually here. This is a real thing. It's not like a mystical, imaginary land that I've been like building up in my head. Like now it's reality. I did it. I'm here. And I remember stepping off the plane and saying to myself, you decide now what kind of Olympics you want to have. Mm-hmm. And I decided that no matter what happened, I was going to enjoy every minute, and I was going to live and skate freely. And I think that was one of the most powerful things I did for myself, because it, you know, as you know, and anyone who's competed in anything knows, you can be in the perfect mindset and perfect, you know, shape and ready to go. And then all it takes is following one dark thought too far. Oh, yeah. And now you've missed it. And you blink and it's all over, right?
Yeah. In a second.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of like running with balancing an egg on a spoon.
That's the best explanation I have heard. That's so true.
You got to be gentle and flexible and not hold on too tight, but concentrated and aware, you know?
It is so hard. And tell us a little bit about your whole Olympic experience. I always ask this to all the skaters because I just love to hear these stories of, you know, the moment when you step on the Olympic ice with all the Olympic rings everywhere, and you know, this powerful sensation. I don't know, just tell me your story.
I remember arriving and you know, I was so excited to get my bag of clothes. I couldn't wait to wear my Team Canada Olympic gear, and I got it. I went through the whole bag and I put it all on, and the next morning, I went for a run through the Olympic Village, and just I cried a little, and I just felt so like I was where I was supposed to be in that moment. You know, it was exactly where I was supposed to be, and I felt like I was a big kid at camp, big athlete camp from all over the world, and I went for lunch. I went to the gym, and I looked around, and I saw all the different types of athletes, all the different body types, all the different countries, everyone there for the same thing with, you know, a dream. And that first time I got to step on the Olympic ice was just, it was so special. But you know, it was not smooth sailing. I arrived with like an infection in both of my feet, and I ended up having to get freezing injections, like needles in my feet every single day for like 2 weeks. And after the freezing would wear off, my feet would be bruised from the needles. So when I was walking around the Olympic Village and the Olympic Park, it was, painful, and I couldn't even put my skates on without the freezing. So I skated my entire Olympic experience with half of both of my feet numb.
Oh my God,
And
that's awful.
yeah, even I just watching this, I just had a memory that Kirsten had, like, I don't know, I think one of her ribs came out of place on practice, and we had to get off the ice like 3 minutes into practice on the Olympic ice. It's you see all the magic when it happens well, but like it's not always smooth sailing, and so much of it is being able to adjust and being able to be flexible without losing your optimism and your enthusiasm, and knowing that it's going to be okay. You did your homework, you're ready to go. It doesn't need to be perfect. And like I said, I think part of that is having been at those games as an older athlete, and having the experience to know it's okay. Like it's gonna be okay. You're gonna step out on the ice. They could cut your foot off. You're gonna go do your program. It's just enjoy it, soak it up.
And what about winning a silver medal with your team? Some of the teammates from Canada tell me that it's so special to win a medal with your friends, like sharing this medal with your friends. So, how was that for you?
Amazing, because as a skater, you don't really get to experience that. Eric Radford and Megan Newhamel were our arch rivals. For my entire partnership with Kirsten, Eric and Megan and us, we're just like neck and neck going at it. And Eric's my best friend, so we've always had this like interesting relationship where we leave it out on the ice, and we do our best to like keep the relationship and the friendship first.
Yeah.
But it took a lot of time to get there. And so being able to skate on the same team and stand on the same, part of the podium together side by side was so amazing. It was the first time ever that, that event had happened. And I just felt so lucky. Like how did I end up here at the right Olympics at the right time and peak at the right time, just to be able to be given that opportunity to skate for Team Canada. It was amazing. And the medal ceremony was in the Olympic Park, and usually before that, skating always had the medal ceremony in the arena, which is normal for us.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to be in the middle of the Olympic Park with the Olympic cauldron burning in the background, and
oh my God,
it was raining, but it didn't matter. I didn't care. And there, my parents were in the front row, and
could you see them?
Yeah.
Oh.
I threw my mom my flowers, and she caught them.
Oh, that's so sweet. I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was, it was interesting too, because we had to compete the short program 2 days later for the pair event.
Uh-huh.
So it was a combination of really living it and also keeping an eye on my energy. But it's surreal. It's like a fairy tale that is actual reality. Like very few people, I think, get to experience something like that, where they've wanted something so badly for so long and they've worked so hard at it, and it comes true.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So I feel very fortunate.
In the pairs event, you were so close. You got to 5th place, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It was so close to get another
medal. We skated really well, and it was a very, very strong year. Like everyone was just so strong. And figure skating is the type of sport where you can only take the results so seriously, because there are so many factors. You go out there, you do your thing, you hope to give them no choice but to give it to you. But at the end of the day, everyone else wants to do that too. You have no control over it. You can't take the puck from them or kick the ball from them. It's just you do your thing, they do their thing, and then the judges, who are human beings, have to make those decisions.
I know, it was so hard. I was commentating those Olympics with Fox Sports, and I remember watching the competition, and oh my God, it was so difficult. I mean, to even give an opinion of who was best. Oh my God, it was so hard.
Yeah, I like looking back, I have no issues. We were right behind Pang and Tong, who are like complete legends, and then Aliona and Robin, and
I know, yeah.
and Max and Tatiana won, and Fedor was second. Like these teams are just. I was amongst giants, So
Yeah.
I feel fortunate. I have no regrets about it, and
So
yeah.
after those Olympics, you stayed competing with another partner for just a short time, and then
4 years, yeah, one
or-
cycle.
yeah, and then you retired. Of
Yes.
course, we have always seen in you this acting part, so you know where I'm going. So, uh, of course, I have here a program, gala exhibition that I just love. I want to show it because we can see your talent as an actor. Let me show. I just love this one. I mean, I laugh so hard with this gala exhibition program. I mean, we can
I
totally
haven't seen
see
this one in a while. It's so much fun to make. Kirsten and we had a really fun partnership. We had a really fun rapport, and our choreographer Mark Pillay, we were a goofy team, and he wanted to show that because not a lot of people will go for comedy because it's hard to do comedy, right?
Yeah.
Especially if no one's laughing. It's the worst. But we had so much fun with this, and yeah, even like bringing it to Japan and having a Japanese skater help us, write the sign in Japanese. In English, it says "looking for love."
Yeah. I mean, it was so amazing. And where I'm going with this is that, of course, with your talent in acting, you ended up doing TV. So, how did that happen?
I think maybe around that time in my life, I started thinking that I would like to try it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of put it aside for a while. I actually started studying business a bit while I was skating. And then my last year of skating, I was like, you know what? Forget this. Like, I want to try. Why shouldn't I try? So I started doing some improv classes while we were skating our last year. My friend was working for a modeling agency, so they signed me, and I did a couple little commercials to get warmed up to it. And then the second I stopped, I think I waited maybe a week or two after I decided I was done, and I started classes right away and went like all in. And it was a very eye-opening experience, and it still is. It's been coming up on almost 3 years that I've been doing acting classes, and I went in with this idea of what it would be like, and how I'm an athlete. I know how to perform, but I know how to work hard, and I know how to like handle pressure and all these things. And I quickly learned that the difference is that with that type of performance, you can't push the way you can in sports.
Yeah.
You have to let go, and you have to let go of perfection, and you have to let go of this idea of what you think it's supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be brave enough to be yourself, and whatever that self is in that moment, wherever you are that day is where you are, and you have to learn to work from there. So it's a lot of self-acceptance. It's a lot of surrender and vulnerability and courage to act truthfully.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been such an interesting process. And it's been actually super, super transformative for me as a person. It took me a while to even acknowledge out loud that I'm an artist.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, I felt shame about that. I felt apprehensive about admitting it. Maybe because there's a stigma of like, oh, you just don't want to get a real job or grow up. You're an athlete and you don't want to let go of that kind of lifestyle. And probably in some ways that was true at the beginning. I didn't want to stop pushing for something that seems abnormal and interesting and different and harder. And now looking back, I realized that there were things about it that I was doing it maybe not completely for the best reasons for me.
Yeah.
Not all were bad.
Yeah.
But what it gave me was a deeper understanding of wanting to find truth about myself, not just the athlete, Dylan, the strong one, the caretaker for my partner, the one who like handles everything, but how does the other part, you know, the sensitive Dylan, the one I put away because it made me feel vulnerable during competition, but it's actually a tool for acting and storytelling, and being able to sit with confidence in that space and be all these pieces of me and not care about it, you know, and be brave enough to share it with people. And it's been a very growing process, you know. It's very challenging, and someone who acts with their whole heart and very truthfully is very brave. It takes a lot, and it's a real art form. And I have so much respect for all the artists out there who try, you know, day in and day out to grow as an artist and as a person.
Wow, it looks really difficult. It's like
it
you
is.
have to open your feelings and share them with everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And how did you end with your part in Spinning Out, in the series Spinning Out for Netflix? You were the double of the lead character, right? So
Yeah.
how did you get there?
Kind of by chance. I got an audition for the head coach role, which was played by Will Kemp, who's amazing, and he did a fantastic job and has a huge resume. And I was lucky enough to get that audition. But shortly after, I got a call from Sarah Kawahara, who's a legendary choreographer in the US. She's from Canada, and she was the skating director for the show. And she asked if I would be interested in helping as a pairs consultant. So I started out initially with trying to find skating doubles. And as they were going through casting the roles, trying to, okay, it looks like we're going to go with this person, and they're, you know, a different height now. So it's like, okay, now I got to help think about this. And then in the end, the actor they went with, he's Evans, he's like my height and my size. So it worked out that they asked if I would do doubling for the first half of the series, because obviously later on in the series they end up doing competitive tricks, and you can't just, as everyone knows, grab a partner you've never skated with and do a triple twist and a program, and it doesn't work that way, right? So as they were learning pairs in the story, that was me skating, and it was so fun because I got to skate with various skaters as my partner, because in the story he kind of changes partners a few times. And in the end, I skated with Liz Putnam, Patrick Chan's wife, and Liz is a very old friend of mine. She's an incredible skater. She was a great competitive skater, did a great job as a show skater, and we've been friends since we were teenagers. So it was so much fun to get to spend my time with her and to skate together and work with Sarah, which I've never got to do. And so that was amazing. But actually before that, I started with coaching some of the actors on the ice. So one of the actors, Caitlin Lieb, she skated for a lot of her life through her teens, and
it shows.
But she had only done like a few weeks of pairs, so I helped her learn and relearn some of the pairs things she already knew. I got to spend a lot of time on the ice with her, which was really fun. And Amanda is Jen in the show, is an old friend who grew up skating in Toronto. So it was such a great experience to bring my skating and then also learn from these actors who already had careers established. I was not even a year into acting, so it was like a great, really lucky experience for me. And then while we were working on that, they offered me a role as a coach on the show for a couple episodes, which was great. I ended up getting my union status as an actor, and it really helped my career. And I'm very grateful for that experience.
That is amazing. Here I have some of your pictures, the poster, and some things you uploaded on your Instagram, some stories.
Yeah, it's so interesting. It brings me back. It brings me back. It was a lot of fun. Also watching the way they tried to capture skating. It's very difficult to do skating justice.
Mm-hmm.
The Boys, a different show I did, very different role.
You have to tell us about that too.
I will get to that one. The thing about the thing about capturing skating and making it realistic, which I feel a lot of shows or movies have struggled to do, is to capture the speed and power of skating is difficult.
Yeah.
And taking the skating world and then these incredibly creative directors and cameramen and all these people behind the scenes who are trying to solve these problems, the way they came up with solutions was fascinating. And they used a lot of, they would build devices, to make Kaya, the lead actress who plays Kat, look like she was in a lift for some of the shots. But in reality, it was like a seat, like she was riding a horse, and the thing would lift up and she would look like she was in a pressure and the camera was on the bottom.
Yeah.
Or I had to do a lift and they had this camera on this like tire attached to a pole, and they would drag the tire with the camera pointed 45 degrees upwards and shoot underneath my lift. So I was stepping my turns like a foot behind the camera.
That is so scary.
I wasn't allowed to look down. So it was fascinating stuff. Fascinating. But, everyone really wanted to do skating justice, and I think they did a great job. And I think the show was great.
I really loved it.
It was great. It was too bad that it wasn't renewed.
It was so good. I mean, I couldn't stand up. I just wanted to watch the whole series, like, in a second.
Yeah. It was a binge-worthy show.
The story is good, and now we didn't even know what's going to happen with the characters at the end about the nationals and all.
We have to use our imagination.
I know, it's so sad.
It is. It's a beautiful story because it's about mental health, it's
a big deal in sports.
Huge, especially skating, which has so much emphasis on the aesthetic and your look and being the it thing, And I think skating still has a ways to go in terms of. I think it's gotten better, but I think it's got a ways to go in adjusting its culture to understanding mental health properly and to understanding its role in creating a culture that fosters bad mental health, and I think the sport is so beautiful and it should be for everybody.
Totally.
And regardless of what path, like having an Olympic dream is beautiful, but also just wanting to skate and perform is beautiful. I think all of it should be celebrated more holistically and more in a more healthy way. And I think it will help prevent some of the eating disorder issues, some of the body dysmorphia issues and obsession issues with perfectionism and all these types of things that, when you're trying to be that high level, sometimes it's unavoidable.
Yeah.
But I think if it's built into the culture to understand it and to look for it and to support people differently, I think people will have the resources and them to help them a lot better.
That's the thing. I think before people didn't talk about those health issues or mental issues in sports. And I was talking to Gracie Gold about this. And, she had also trouble with that. And Gabby Daleman also. And I was talking to them. And it's so important to for the people to know that athletes sometimes struggle because they dedicate their lives to sport, and when it ends, when they stop their career, they retire, they have no idea of how to move on or how to, take the
Yeah.
next step. And people need to be conscious and give support to all these people, to all these athletes.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. I think also, people see it from a distance as so glamorous. It's such a glamorous life, and like how lucky you are. And yeah, in a lot of ways, yeah, we are lucky, but also you're held to a different standard. You're put on this pedestal, and you're expected to be, an example for everybody at the expense of your humanity sometimes.
Exactly.
But you're also not allowed to open your mouth. You're not allowed to speak out, and it's a very hard place to be.
Yep. That's exactly what Gracie told me. She said that she didn't want to appear as weak in front of the press because, of course, you skaters, when you're Olympians or, I don't know, world competitors, people see you as invincible. So some athletes don't want to appear weak because they know they must, how can I say it? They must show as strong,
Yeah,
people, because
maintain that face, that armor.
yeah, but that's so,
Like they're making,
I know it's like a poker face, but it's so bad for health.
yeah, and I think if we were to reframe it and look at it differently,
Hmm.
it's it's almost more empowering to see someone be human and damaged and wounded and still do that, and I think that's what should be celebrated. And
I know.
I think there is a bit of a shift. There's a lot more talk about
Hmm.
um, mental health and also inclusivity and diversity in sport.
Yes.
I think sport has the power to change
Hmm.
the world, and I think it's done a lot of that, but more of it needs to happen.
Yes.
And I think athletes should be encouraged to know that they should be safe in doing these types of things, and showing the world that, yeah, I'm an athlete. Yeah, in some sports I get paid a lot to do my job. This is my job, and sure, but like I'm a human being,
Exactly.
and having that kind of pressure, knowing that people are hoping for you and expecting things for you, or people behind you have put effort and time and made sacrifices for you, that's difficult. And I think you should be allowed to be a human being going through that, not a robot.
I totally agree. I couldn't agree more. So now, please tell us about your part in The Boys.
Is this a PG show or?
Okay, let's keep it familiar.
Okay. So, I mean, the show The Boys isn't PG, right? So, uh, it's on Amazon Prime. It's a great show. I really like it. It's a dark kind of comedy drama about superheroes, and but they're the anti-heroes. And I I got an audition call, and my agent called me and was like, "Okay, I have an audition for you, but it's a little different." And so essentially, one of the main characters, played by Chase Crawford, his name is the Deep, and he's a little bit like Aquaman, I guess. He's an underwater guy, and in the show, he has romantic relationships with some dolphins, and like it's out there. So I ended up playing a adult film star doppelganger of the Deep. So I had to act in this like mock like pornography scene where I was dressed in the costume and had a blow up dolphin under my arm, and it was like the beginning of the scene. And it, it was doing that self tape, interesting. It was different. It stretched me as an actor and as a person, but it was very uncomfortable. But a good friend of mine, Jordan Dawson, who's another actor from Toronto, helped me with it, and he really pushed me to kind of go deeper and go further. And whatever I thought was like, okay, that's enough. That's douchey enough. That's, he was like, no. Give me more. You are playing a porn star here. You need to be that kind of a character. And so I sent it to my agent, and she responded saying, I have no words. She said, it's great, but I feel awkward. I'm not going to watch it again. And then she called me the next day and said, you got the role. I don't know what to tell you, but you got the role. So this is going to be a lot of fun. And so I had one day on set for photos, which was very interesting. I won't get into details about that one. And the other day was just a one-day shoot, and they kind of sprung some different things on me, without warning the day of, but it was fun. It was, the directors were laughing. It was supposed to be a comedic type scene, and the scene was being played on a TV in the background during the scene. So it's not even like the main part of the scene. One of the characters is watching this on a TV in the background. And so, you do all this work, you wait over a year for it to come out, and then you have to like look for yourself playing in the background on a TV and pause it and zoom in. But it was fun. It was different. And it was really cool to be on The Boys.
That is so much fun. And what's next for you on TV?
Right now, I just wrapped with Battle of the Blades, which is a Canadian show on CBC, where hockey, it's like Dancing with the Stars, but on ice, and it's a hockey player and a figure skater paired up. So I was a coach for Vanessa James and Akeem Aliou, and both, just amazing people doing so many things for change in their sports. Akeem is one of the founders of the Hockey Diversity Alliance, and is an outspoken person, against racism and promoting diversity in hockey. And Vanessa works with me on the Figure Skating Diversity and Inclusion Alliance, which was a new thing we put together this year, a bunch of skaters from around North America. And it was so wonderful watching them grow as a team, and watching Akeem go from a hockey player who was very apprehensive about figure skating, he didn't think he could deal with anything, to doing, a double twist. They did a triple flip. He was doing overhead lifts. He was performing. He's like obsessed with skating now. The transformation was beautiful. It was amazing.
That's amazing.
And it was so cool. It was so cool. And David Wilson, legendary choreographer. He was my choreographer for many years. Getting to work beside him, he was, the choreographer for our team, and it was awesome, especially during COVID, to be lucky enough to have it go through. And it wasn't as comfortable in terms of what it was, the day-to-day was like. There were a lot of protocols in place, but it was great. It was great.
And you have been doing more stuff with CBS, right?
CBC,
sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. So yeah, I have a show that I co-host with Asher Hill, called That Figure Skating Show, and there it is. Yeah, it's CBC Sports YouTube, and it started last skating season. CBC and the ISU's contracts ended, and they couldn't come to an agreement on broadcasting rights and the price, I guess, or regardless. The Grand Prix season we had no broadcast. So CBC, and I had done some commentary for them before for Worlds, and Asher had done some too. And CBC was like, well, okay, we got to pivot. We got to figure something out. Let's kind of go after the younger audience and try something different. And Asher and I have been friends a long time, and have this kind of funny banter type of relationship. And so they try this out, and it went really well. The network was super happy with it. And so this year, and we actually had like this whole thing gearing up for the World Championships last season. and we were going to get to do commentary and host, and we were so excited, and then Worlds got canceled.
So bad.
But I mean,
Yeah,
it's sports.
I know.
People are struggling really badly, and it's on one hand, it's okay to acknowledge your losses, but to keep it in perspective, I think is important.
Yes, of course. I was also going to the Worlds and
Yeah,
here. So
yeah, yeah.
hopefully next
And
year we'll be able to do something.
yeah, hopefully. And in the skating world, our community is something that's so strong, and we value it so much. And being able to like see each other at competitions is so such a big part of our world as a skater.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was a big letdown, even for not just the athletes, which, man, that's so hard, so hard. But I think everyone involved. But luckily enough, CBC was like, we want the show to keep going. We're going to keep content. And Asher and I have done all our episodes through Zoom this season, and it's been different but fun. And yeah, we're moving forwards. They renewed us for 5 more episodes after the new year for this season. So regardless of competitions happen or not, we're going to be talking about skating and, weird shenanigans. We always do weird stuff, which is super fun.
That's amazing. I mean, it's so much fun to watch your episodes, and also people watch them because you're gonna laugh and you're gonna have a great time.
Gracias.
Gracias. And I have a comment here, well, a question from Mau Gonzalez. He's asking, who's your favorite skater?
That's really hard. I can't even choose off a menu. I can't pick favorites. Growing up, Kurt Browning, Elvis Stoico, they were an era of skating in Canada.
All the Canadians say the same, Every Canadian guy I ask, they tell me Kurt Browning.
Yeah, those guys were pioneers, and skating was at its peak. Like if you were a world champion, then you were a superstar in Canada and around the world. Not just in Japan.
I know that.
And it was they gave hope to so many men in skating, so many boys. It was there were so many other iconic Canadian skaters and international skaters that did that. But there's a reason so many guys say Kurt and Elvis, because they were so impressionable.
Do you remember his show program of the Singing on the Rain?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, I just loved it. The one they did for TV with all these sets. It was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, such different skaters too. Such different skaters. I think pair skater wise, Gordieva and Grinkov.
Oh yeah, amazing.
You can't get much better. Dave Pelche is probably one of my favorite pair guys. Yeah, they're like Patrick Chan. I don't know. I've been so blessed to be in skating and part of a generation that was so iconic in Canadian skating.
Oh yeah, and you were one of
my friends.
The greatest teams. The one in Sochi, it was so good. We tested Scott and Patrick. Oh my God, yeah.
Caitlin Osmond, Gabby Daleman, and Caitlin and Andrew, and Eric and Megan, like the most decorated pair skaters.
They're amazing.
Amazing times, and so it's hard for me to pick a favorite because so many different skaters have given me so many different things.
Yeah.
I guess I love and respect any skater who really puts it out there. They don't skate safely; they skate from their heart. And I think the only way to really create a magical moment on the ice is to be, not that you have the absence of fear, but you don't act on the fear. You just hands with the fear, and you're just like, this is it. Here I go. I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to play it safe. I'm going to perform. I'm going to skate fast. I'm going to jump. And not that you're careless, but you're in it, you know? And I think anyone who does that and is going to move the audience.
You guys are so brave. I did Paris for a while, maybe for 3 years, and we were national champions in Mexico. But after that, when we started doing like hard stuff, I was so scared, and I just kept with singles. I mean, I
Yeah,
took some hard falls. You guys
it's
are brave.
being a female para skater is
It's
special.
important.
It's special.
I know. I mean, I'm short, and I have been always like so petite, and it was easy to lift me, and I'm strong. But oh my God, those falls, Jesus,
Yeah.
it's too bad. And you guys are also very brave because if your partner falls, you must feel so guilty.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard. And you know, people always think the girl is trusting the guy mostly, and it is, you know, that is true. But also, we have to trust the girl. We have to trust the girl in the lifts and the twist, that their timing is going to be right. You know, because if it goes off, you're responsible for adjusting while turning with someone over your head on one hand. You know, it's
No, that's so awful.
you're doing a twist, and you got to trust they're not going to open their elbow first and like
I know.
knock you out. um, and blades flying around. There's all sorts of stuff, but also the trust, which feels equally as scary, I think, is your dreams are in their hands too.
Yeah.
You know, and that is almost scarier than getting hurt. Because like as an athlete, you're like, yeah, okay, pain is something I deal with all the time, but disappointment and loss is in some ways harder.
I know.
And that's I think probably one of the most unique and challenging parts of being in a pair team or an ice dance team is that trust and that reliance on each other.
That's nice. That's really good. And talking about not pairs, but maybe the men's competition and ladies, in the skaters that we see today, which skaters do you think could be in the next Olympic podium? I know it's a hard question.
Oh.
It's so difficult because there are so many.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could probably put 10 in either event.
I know. Just talking about the girls, we have so many.
I know we're only what, like 13 and a half months away from the Olympics, which is crazy.
I know.
I don't know what's going to come out of the Russian factory. You know, I don't know. Who's going to not break before then? Who's going to keep growing in their style, and who's going to be able to handle changing, you know, into a woman if that happens by that time, if their body starts changing, their mind starts changing. You know, it's there's so many factors, especially when someone becomes successful at a young age. There are so many things that are added to the mix, you know?
Yes. And if the Olympics don't get postponed, because if they do, oh my God. I know.
They've got more little Russian girls. There's that little one who does the quad with the arms. Like, I can't even do a toe like this. What's happened?
I know, it's so crazy. But I was talking to Tom Sakrajek, and we were saying that if the World Championship gets cancelled, next one in 2021, these girls are going to go to the Olympics without ever going to a World Championship. I mean, they were in the junior worlds, but they didn't compete in the senior worlds. So if the World Championship gets cancelled, oh my God, their first huge competition is going to be the Olympics.
But didn't that, I might be wrong, but didn't that happen with Zagitova?
Yes.
She won she won the Olympics before going to the World Championship.
You're right.
So it could happen again. It will likely happen again.
You never know. I mean, these girls are so amazing. Yeah. It's like they're like robots, but oh my God, how they jump amazingly. Oof.
Crazy.
I know.
Crazy. I just, you know, there's a lot of people that are for it or against it, and
I know it's the discussion.
And that's okay. I think debate is good. I think challenging the mold is important.
Mm-hmm.
But I do hope that someone who values package and values being an all-around skater prevails.
Yes.
You know, I hope the best skater and the best skates win.
Mm-hmm.
You always do. But I really hope it's someone who cares about all of skating and try.
I hope
and
that too.
Growth, you know, like Kosternaya is a great example. She's a beautiful skater.
I know, that's what I was going to say. She's my favorite. I hope she gets back her triple axel because I just adore her skating. I mean, she looks so beautiful in the ice. Huge jumps and amazing choreography. She's great.
Yeah, she's amazing.
And what about guys?
But I was gonna say Rika is also amazing, right? Like,
oh yeah, too.
She and Young Yu from Korea. She's hot and cold, but when she's on, she's great. She's growing and developing, you know. So yeah, the girls event, I can't give you. It could be a Russian podium sweep.
Yeah,
but it might not. It might not.
There are so many great female skaters today. I mean, at least I think we could have 8 or 10 female girls who could be fighting for the podium.
Yeah, well, and you could have 15 that like 4 years ago would be fighting first. You know, it's crazy, crazy. Guys, yeah, like I love Nathan. I think he's amazing, and I love that despite like being a student, despite all these quads he does, he keeps growing. His skating keeps getting better. He's starting to show more maturity every year. And every year I say, oh, wow, look, he's improved, but he does it again.
Yeah.
And his skating skills, he floats more. He's gone from learning to perform to now learning nuances and showing like Patrick Chan type details. And you know what I mean? Like he's going from like a good car to like a luxury car, you know, like all the little bells and whistles are there. And I just think if he's on, he's pretty much unbeatable.
Yeah, I think so too.
But that being said, when Yuzu is on, like I used to train with Yuzu, and like the guy is just so special. You know, he has
something, some extra something.
Yeah, it's almost like he's like an alien race. Like there's something different there, you know? Like native Alaska.
Yes.
You know, Kolyada, I love.
Kolyada, oh my God, this season. Have you seen his free program?
Oh, I'm obsessed.
Me too. It's beautiful. I mean, it's kind of strong, but at the same time delicate. Oh my God, so beautiful.
He's gone from like, and I don't mean this in like a bad way, but he's gone from kind of what we're used to seeing lately from Russian men, like the standard Russian man right now, to looking like a classic Russian man of old, you know, like he looks like Baryshnikov stepped on the ice.
Yeah.
And he's just floating, and like his nuance with the music, the choreography in his footwork, the way he like explodes and then he builds up speed and he does like a huge quad and then he's soft again. It's unreal.
I know.
His outfit, his packaging, it's
and you know, the greatest thing about this is that for so many years we didn't see a Russian guy fighting for a podium. I mean, after Plushenko, we didn't have anyone from Russia who was really strong. So finally, after Sochi, and well, in Sochi, Plushenko retired. So let's say after Vancouver, or, you know, in those times, and since then, we didn't see much male skating, like amazing male skating.
Not the dominance we're used to, you know, like a world medal here or there, but not the dominance we're used to from Russian men. And it's, I mean, there's so many good skaters, you know, so it's going to be very interesting, especially pandemic wise, you know, who's
Yeah.
going to lose? Who's going to lose their focus? Who's going to lose their edge? Who's going to gain an edge? Who's going to, you know, find during this time like Kolyada did when he had that, he took a year off, right? He's
Yeah,
come back new.
I know.
So who's going to reinvent themselves and who's going to come out not just like, oh, well, the, you know, same old's fine, but wanting to do more and wanting to just push the envelope.
Yeah, I mean, the count, the time is ending for the Olympics. So if the World Championship happens, it's going to be so interesting to watch because people is going to be fighting till death.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's what you want to see.
Yeah, of course.
You want to see the best in the world fighting it out. Yeah, like I love when an athlete and just kind of changes the sport. It's beautiful, it's amazing. But I really love when it's not just like, okay, we know they're gonna win. You know?
Oh, like the X
And,
Factor.
and what, yeah, and what you're seeing is a result of Patrick Chan and Yuzu and Javi and these skaters having created this wave of young skaters stepping it up.
Yeah.
And now they're all like rising together, and it, you know, it's beautiful. It's what you want out of an event.
And we haven't seen Yusu this season, so hopefully we will see him in a couple of weeks in the Japan. No, 1 week in the Japan Nationals.
Yeah, yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah. We'll see what happens. Japan is adamant on having events happen because they really want the Tokyo Olympics to happen, right? Like I do too. My fiance is supposed to hopefully play there for tennis, so
oh my god.
I've been living with, she's ready for an Olympics and it be postponed, and it's very difficult, and it's very interesting to see how people adjust, you know, because you cling on to this thing as a definite, and when it all of a sudden it changes your whole life.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to adjust.
No.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Next year is key to what's going to happen. So let's see. Hopefully everything will be okay.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yes. Well, Dylan, thank you so much. This has been so much fun. We have to repeat this sometime soon because I had a great time today. And thank you so much for everything, for sharing your stories with us and for, chatting with me about all the new stuff in skating and all.
Thank you for having me.
No, we will repeat this. And I would love to interview your wife because actually I'm doing a series of interviews for the guys who are going to Tokyo. So it would be amazing.
I'll put in a good word for you.
Yeah, please. Tell her I'm a good person.
I will.
Guys, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't and follow me on my social media. Right now I have a giveaway, an amazing giveaway from MK Blades. They're giving a pair of blades for a lucky winner. So go to my Instagram and see what this contest is about. Thanks for joining. Gracias a todos por estar aquí. Thank you so much, Dylan, and we'll be in touch.
Muchas gracias.
Take care. Have a great time. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.